وصلی اللہ علی النبی الکریم رب اشرح لی صدری ویسر لی امری واحلل عقدۃ من لسانی یفقہوا قولی. The theme for the present talk is law of 30 seconds. Law of 30 seconds. It seems to be a mysterious topic, but it is not. It is only the other name of the law of nature. In every human being, man or woman both, there is a law, there is a natural process or a natural mechanism in every human being. A natural mechanism. It is this natural mechanism which I have named after the law of 30 seconds. Now, let us begin from a hadith, a prophetic saying. The Prophet of Islam has said, a person came to the Prophet and asked, "O Prophet, give me a master advice by which I may be able to manage all the affairs of my life." It means that, "O Prophet, give me a master advice by which I may be able to manage all the affairs of my life. Ya Rasulullah, allimni kalimatin aisha bihinna, wala tuksir alayya wa ansa." Prophet replied, "La taghzab, don't be angry." Now, what is the meaning of this answer? Obviously, it is not very simple answer. Why? Because when one is provoked, anger is result of provocation. Without provocation, there is no anger. No anger at all. So one is provoked by some other person. It seems to be but natural that he may become angry. It is but natural. So why Prophet said, "Don't be angry"? While it is obvious that when one is provoked, he will become angry. Obviously, it is not very easy. Here you have, if you want to understand this, you have to add some more aspects, that is natural aspect. It means that avail the opportunity of natural process. It means that in you, in your mind, in your heart, there is an opportunity given by by the Creator. You have to avail that opportunity. Then you will save yourself from being angry. Now, what is that opportunity? This is the opportunity which I have called law of 30 seconds. It is the law of nature. It is a law of nature that when one is provoked or any other negative thought comes in his mind, at that time, there are two options for that person. In the first instance, you are becoming angry more and more. So, the natural process is that first you have to restrain yourself from speaking. Don't speak at all. In every human being, there are two different faculties: desire and intellectual faculty. Desire has no logic. But your intellectual faculty has logic. Your mind always thinks in logical terms. But desire don't know to think. So if you keep yourself, if you keep patience for a while, for 30 seconds, then there will be a miracle. And at the same moment, you open the door of your mind. Start thinking what to do. When you are provoked and you feel anger in your heart, don't speak at all. But open your mind, start thinking. What would be the result if I become angry? So when you start thinking, then the whole thing will be changed. Then you will find that after 30 seconds, there is a U-turn in your natural mechanism. In the first instance, the direction was towards negativity, towards anger. But if you keep silence, if you start thinking, if you start applying logic, then you will see that after 30 seconds, there will be a U-turn. Then you see that your will, your freedom is proceeding towards the positive direction. So after 30 seconds, you can stop that process in reverse direction. For the first 30 seconds, the direction is towards negative. But when you keep silence and start thinking, then it is very easy to change the course of your thought. and take a U-turn. Then slowly and gradually, you will find that the whole thing is pacified, whole thing is normalized. Very soon you will find that now your mind is calm and cool. Now you are a normal person. So this is law of 30 seconds. This is applicable to all kind of negative thought, all kind of desires. For example, there was a report about a well-known singer and dancer. She says that my mouth is the greatest source of my pleasure. My mouth is the greatest source of my pleasure. At the same time, she complains about her digestive system. Why? Why this? This phenomena you will find to every person, every man and every woman. All those people who like to take tasty foods, they always complain about their digestive system. Because why? When they are taking tasty foods, then there is limit of your digestive system. So the moment comes when there is alarm from inside that now you have reached the limit. So at that moment, if you stop for 30 seconds and start thinking, then your appetite will disappear. Initially, there is great appetite, great passion to eat more and more and more. But you stop 30 seconds. But if you stop for 30 seconds and you start thinking, then you will see that your appetite is diminished. Your appetite is weakened. And after a while, after a moment, you will see that you are a normal person without appetite. Thus, you can save your digestive system. Otherwise, you will ruin your digestive system. And I have found that majority of men or women have ruined their digestive system. All those diseases are due to result of this kind of wrong habit. The source of all kind of diseases are your stomach. So all those diseases in which people complain, all those diseases about which people complain are due to follow their appetite without using this law of 30 seconds. It is this, although not with this word, but it is mentioned in the hadith also. There is a hadith that take food in limited quantity, not without fulfilling your stomach. And your stomach is unfulfilled, then stop eating. It is this principle that is adopted by Sufi people. Qillat-e taam. قلت طعام. So all those things which are, all those desires come under this principle. You know, in Islam, there are do's and don'ts. There are many hadith and Quran that says that do not do this, do not do this, that, don't do this, don't do that. So it is an injunction. But it is understood that you have to follow this law of 30 seconds. Then you will be able to follow this principle. So all those negative thoughts, like anger and ego and arrogance and lust and revenge and intolerance and all those negative thoughts can be controlled by applying this law of 30 seconds. When you feel that some negative thought has attacked upon your mind or heart, so when you feel that there is attack in terms of egoism, in terms of arrogance, in terms of lust, in terms of jealousy, so stop for 30 seconds. Stop your mind for 30 seconds and think. Instead following that desire, think for a while. And then you will find that there is a great change, there is a sea change. The direction has been changed. If the direction was, if the direction previously was towards negative end, now it will go to positive end. So this is law of 30 seconds. Now I would like to differ from the Quran. You know, the first man created by God was Adam. Adam was the first man. He was just like ours. He was a complete human being. He was not like subhuman. No, he was perfect man. So what happened? There were two sons of Adam, Qabil and Habil. So there arose some controversy between the two brothers. One brother, that was Qabil, became angry. One was Habil and the second was Qabil. So Qabil became angry due to some controversy. He said, I will kill you. Then he failed to avail that law of 30 seconds. This was the first case of failure. First case is mentioned in the Quran. In chapter number 5, that is Al-Ma'idah. In verse number 30 and 31st, chapter Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5. So what happened? Qabil, after this controversy, Qabil became angry and he wanted to kill his brother. And actually he killed him. Then Quran says that فَأَصْبَحَ مِنَ النَّادِمِينَ. فَأَصْبَحَ مِنَ النَّادِمِينَ. After killing his brother, he became repentant. He fell into regret. Then why? Why this repentance? Why this regret? It is the failure of that 30 seconds. When man fails to avail that law of 30 seconds and become victim of his desire, then he feels repentant himself. So what was required in the first instance? He failed to avail that moment. Then in the end, his conscience, it's like alarm. It was an alarm for a conscience. So when Quran says that فَأَصْبَحَ مِنَ النَّادِمِينَ, he became repentant after killing his brother. It means that his conscience gave his alarm that you are wrong, you are wrong. You failed to avail this initial opportunity, this law of 30 seconds. So this kind of failure you can see in the whole history. I think that this is mentioned in the chapter At-Teen in the Quran. Chapter At-Teen. وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورِ سِينِينَ وَهَٰذَا الْبَلَدِ الْأَمِينِ. Then the Quran says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. It means that God says in these verses, we created man in the best mold. We created man in the best mold. Then we cast him down to the lowest of the low. We created man in the best mold, then we cast him down to the lowest of the low. I can say that this refers to that kind of failure, that man fails to avail that natural opportunity, which I call law of 30 seconds. So God created man with desires because God put man here on the test. In this world, man is on the test. So without test, there is no desire. Without desire, there is no test. If man was like robot, then it's impossible to put him on test. So man is not robot. Man is not angel. Man is full of desires. These desires are necessary because without desire, there is no test. So God created man with desires. But at the same time, God provided a natural mechanism in every human being, every man and woman, this natural mechanism, which I call law of 30 seconds, that when your desire attacks upon you and you want to do something wrong, like arrogance, lust, murder, and intolerance, and injustice, and anger, all these things are bad aspects of desires, negative aspects of desires. So this is for test. So when a desire attacks upon you, there is a time when you must avail that law of 30 seconds. You have to keep silence. Stop for a moment and start thinking. At one side there are desires, at the other side there are your mind. Desire has no mind. Desire cannot think. But at the same time you have mind. It is able to think. So when you find that you are under the attack of desires, at once you have to open your mind. At once you have to begin the thinking. This is 30 seconds. This is very crucial. These 30 seconds are very, very crucial. If you start thinking, then you will avail that opportunity. And suddenly you feel that there is a U-turn. There is a U-turn. Your desire is diminishing. Your desire is weakening. Your thinking will weaken your desire. When you awaken your thinking process, you will see that it has weakened your desires. So slowly your desire will disappear. So 30 seconds means to change the course of event. To change the course of event. Law of 30 seconds means that you have to intervene so that you may change the course of events. You are able to intervene. Although desires have no mind, the desires are simply desires. But you can control your desire. You have the capacity to change the course of events. You have the capacity to take U-turn. So if you keep silence, then you will be able to revive this capacity. Silence is very important. There is a hadith, very, very important hadith. Man samata naja. Man samata naja. It means that one who keeps silence will get salvation. Man samata naja. Success is for those who can keep silence. So silence is the key to success. Man samat naja means silence is the key to success. So silence is very, very important. Silence can change the course of events from negative direction to positive direction. Silence is not simply silence. Silence means when you are silent, you are thinking. When you are silent, you are thinking. No silence can stop your thinking. No silence can stop your thinking. Silence means to accelerate your thinking. Man samata naja. So why success? Why silence is key to success? Because when you are silent, you are able to activate your mind in a positive way. So when you feel that you are under attack of Satan, you are under attack of desire, you are under attack of negative thought, keep silence and start thinking. Then within a moment you will find that there is a process of normalization. Silence activates the process of normalization in your personality, in your mind. So you see this mentioned in that chapter, At-Teen. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. We created man in the best mold, then we cast him down to the lowest of the low. It means that we created man and put him on test. So we gave him desires. Then at the same time, we equipped him with the law of 30 seconds. And God gave you desires, so many desires. But at the same time, God equipped you with the law of 30 seconds so that you may cope that desire, so that you may find the solution, so that you may manage the desires. Law of 30 seconds makes you able to manage your desires. I can say that this law of 30 seconds makes you to manage all those desires in a positive way. Law of 30 seconds makes you able to convert your negative into positive. Here I would like to add one more point. You see, the whole universe is based on the law of conversion. Our universe is a universe of conversion. Everything. Let's take water. What is water? Initially, water is combination of two gases, hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. So water means conversion of two gases into water. Water means conversion of non-water into water. Hydrogen and oxygen are not water. You cannot take hydrogen or oxygen as a water. No. But when under the law of nature, under the law of nature, oxygen and hydrogen converts, they become water. So water is a conversion of non-water into water. So in the case of everything, for example, sun, you take the sun. Sun is also a conversion of non-light into light. Conversion, sun is also a conversion of non-light into light. Tree is a conversion of non-tree into tree. Because initially there was no tree. But when non-tree converted, then we see it into form of tree. So it is this law of conversion that is required by man also. With the only difference that in other parts of the universe, this law is, God has imposed this law under compulsion. In His sun and water are compulsively. There is a compulsive conversion. In case of water, in case of tree, in case of sun, there is conversion. But that is conversion by force, because they have no option. But man has free will. So man converts by his own choice. Quran says, وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُهُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. When they become angry, they forgive. This is without compulsion. And man is able to convert his anger into forgiveness by his own choice. Man is capable to convert arrogance into modesty by his own choice. Man is capable to convert lust and jealousy into dua. So this conversion is conversion by choice. And it is this choice that is the price of paradise. So Surah Wat-Teen tells us that man was given a great opportunity in the form of law of 30 seconds. But he failed to avail this opportunity and became a case of failure, case of disasters. Success lies here. One who wants to go to paradise, he must avail this opportunity. He must manage his desires by using the law of 30 seconds. This law of 30 seconds is applicable to everything. It covers all the human activities. And here is the key to success. Here is the key to paradise. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم أجمعين.